Hey guys, sorry it took so long to get the third video out. I know a few of you have been asking me about it. I forgot all about it. I've actually finished the tank. We skipped the third video, so we're going to do this a little differently. I'm going to run you around the finished tank, show you it completed, and then we're going to backtrack and catch up to where we left off from video number 2. Sorry, I just got into it and forgot all about the third video. So let's have a look at Lenny, the Dovite, and we'll backtrack back to video 2, and hopefully it still helps. So this is the tank finished. It's 1,000 litres or just a touch over. Done the stand. See if we can get Lenny to say hi. No, he's a bit placid at the moment. So the tank's 2 meters, 3 foot deep, 2.5 foot high. Nice piece of driftwood in there. Now I'm going to catch up from where we left off from video number 2. We had to lay the fabric down in the corners and paint them in with the damp stop. All I did, put a clamp on the corner of the tank and let the fabric lay down on the inside. I did that for all 4 corners. The fabric lays down inside. Then you get your damp stop. You don't even have to be careful with it. It's actually quite... Lenny's following my hand around. He's a little bit aggressive. Dab it in, slap it in there, and wet the fabric into the corners, and then you wet it all into here, bottom sides, just so every corner's got a full strip of fabric and damp stopped in. I know I mentioned in the second video I may have done 2 applications of that. I did. I waited I think I waited 48 hours. I got all the fabric in. It's going to bunch up the fabric too. In the corners, it's a bit hard to get straight. Don't stress it. You'll be so surprised how much this pond sealer hides. I've got bunched up fabric that wasn't perfect, and you'd never see it in the black pond seal. So that's no drama. Just do as best you can and smush it in there well. Wait 48 hours. Do it again. Lay your second lot of fabric right through and smush it all in and wait your 48 hours. I then ordered the glass. Now the glass, I did 50 mil above the cutout, around the cutout, sorry. So right around the cutout, it came 50 mil right around the edging, if you know what I mean, 50 mil, and that gives plenty of room for silicone to smush the glass down with. What I did, and I'd highly recommend it, this is something I didn't plan to do, I used the polyurethane that you smush the fabric in with, and I painted the polyurethane around the inside where the glass was going to go. That created, rather than leaving timber, your silicone won't stick to timber very well. The polyurethane on the inside of the frame, 50 mil, well, it doesn't matter, it can be as messy as you like, you'll see it creates a very smooth glass-like finish, and the silicone's going to stick to that a lot better. So I used a polyurethane and a paintbrush all on the inside of the frame. The glass arove, I measured, it's 12 mil, and got them to cut it obviously. Measured 50 mil longer and wider than I needed on all sides. Then applied a good thick bead of silicone, waving right the way around. And you got to get a friend. The glass is awkward and heavy, and you and a friend, the front of the tank is laying face down obviously. This front is laying face down, and you guys lift the glass in and settle it down flat. Generally the weight of the glass is going to be enough to really smush that Selly's glass silicone down. I put cloth down on all corners, and I put some heavy weights on there as well to really get it down there. I left it for a few days to dry. Once that's done, I've got a confession to make. I did make a mistake. I didn't in the second video, I hadn't put the supports across yet. So there's 1, 2, 3 big supports going through the screws are going through the timber here. It's going to be, I'm going to try and lift this up. Guys, that's your support. So, sorry we skipped video 3, but if you get that, that's just a plain, like 90mm by 35mm pine beam. And you just, one's got to go through there and screw into your, before this goes on. So behind this little frame is just your normal wood. So it screws through there, 2 big screws into that one, 2 big screws into that one, and that one. So screws, 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 same on the other side. And that's your support beams. That is important. That's like the most important part. Once those raw pine beams are in, the same black pond sealer, as you're going, because I accidentally forgot that step, put them in and then screw them in place. And then when you're painting your black pond sealer, just 3, so you've got to do your pond sealer internally here. 1 coat, 24 hours, 1 coat, 24 hours, 1 coat, 24 hours. So 3 coats, 24 hours between each one. While you're doing that, you paint the underneath, the sides, right around in the edges here of your 3 supports. They've all got to be pond sealed with 3 coats, because water splashes up, it gets dirty. You need to have them sealed so it doesn't put any contaminants into your tank that you don't actually want. He's a bit happier now. Lenny, being a Doveye, super aggressive. I've got this, I've got to do something, but I've got this big plank of wood over the top, because at night he smashes the lids up and they fall on the ground and they wake the whole house up. So we've had to put a heavy thing on there to calm him down a bit. So once you've put your 3 supports in, you screwed them in front and back, held it tight, you're painting all the inside of your tank black with the pond sealer, painting your supports black with the pond sealer. Then don't pond seal that 50mm gap around here. Leave that bare pine, and then you use your polyurethane for that nice smooth surface. Glue that glass panel in with your Selly's silicone, the Aquarium silicone, and then from there, your last step is your picture frame, or what I call framing the tank. Very, very straightforward. Generally doesn't have to be, if you look there, like I didn't get that perfect, but you're going to cap it anyway for the strength, so you know it's gonna look fine anyway. This is done just with the MDF you got left over. I've got plenty of it still lying around from the tank build. So you get your leftover MDF, cut it to size, and it's so important. The most important thing is that the long piece goes past the tank join. If that makes any sense, the tank's joined that way, so the long piece is going to come past the join. I hope that makes sense. You can just see that join there. So it's important that this part comes past the join, and then your front butts up to that. You can just see the join there. It's got to come past the join and then butt up there. I hope that makes sense, because that's the most important part, and that goes for every single corner on the tank. The long piece of your picture frame comes out past where the join is. There's no join on this side, so we stopped it there, and we bring that past the join. That's all corners. That's really integral to the structural part of the tank. Like, make sure we get that one right. I'm trying to rush through this because I realise it's a bit long, but I did skip video 3. Your stand, there's plenty of YouTube clips for the stand. I went a little bit overkill, I believe in, well, I've got I think 1.2 ton sitting there right now in my house. If you balls up the tank, that's 1.2 ton of water through the house. So the stand is overkill, but that's the way I chose to do it. And as you can see, guys, I'm running a sump. I think it's important to run a sump on a tank this size. It's a 4-foot sump running under there. I think I showed in those first videos the holes I drilled in that corner and the downpipe in that corner. You would have seen those holes in videos 1 or 2 to That's the plumbing for the sumps. That one there is literally just cut off this high, and it's just a drain plug. So when I want to do my water changes, you just come here, run that hose outside, turn the tap, and the water just dumps out outside. It's a simple water change. Turn the tap when you're finished, put the little safety bung back in, and the other hole is obviously your intake that comes in from the top and drains down into the sump. I built that sump on wheels, so I've got a little frame I butt up there. This sump, I'll see if I can. No, it's not going to be. I can't hold the camera and do it. The sump pulls out on wheels and comes all the way out here, and then I can do filter change, wool changes, media changes while it's out here, and then you just push it back in, and Bob's your uncle. I hope that answered most of it for you guys. Aware it was a bit tricky without the actual third brackets. I think about the only thing I'm not sure we mentioned, but once you've coated the black pond sealer, those braces up the top, all inside of the tank, 7 days drying before you fill it with water to put your fish in. Thanks for watching. Again, sorry guys it took so long, and I did forget the third part, so I think we got there in the end. Happy building.